Morning, recruiting.
Hello.
Hello, Claire.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone.
Let's give 3 cheers for making it to the end of week 3. Hip, hip.
Hooray.
Hey, hip, hip.
Hooray.
Hip, hip.
Hooray. Fantastic. We've made it.
My scaffolders are here and they're taking the tin hat off my house. Tonight, I will be able to look at my roof.
Woo-hoo! Yay. Well done. Well done.
So whilst it might feel like we've had a number of days off because we're working at home, we are at the Easter weekend. And we've got 4 days to recharge. And the focus of this stand-up is one thing and one thing only, to talk about ways that you can recharge yourself over the Easter weekend. And you can start that this morning. That's really what we're focused on. Yeah. So we've got Claire here, who's our mental health and wellbeing coach in the recruiting gym. Claire's already been running her 2-hour workshop for a number of clients around managing change and transformation within businesses, but also managing stress and mental health. How have those been going, Claire?
Really, really well. Thank you, Alex. We had 2 workshops yesterday. I keep thinking it's Friday, but it's Thursday. We had 2 yesterday. The positive, making sure that we are have positive mental health in high stress situations. So that's all looking at our personal stress and practically looking at what our triggers are and how we overcome that stress. And then yesterday afternoon, we had the dealing with change positively. We've had so many changes. So that's all about looking at our emotions and practically how we personally deal with that change.
Fantastic. So you can see the builders are right next to my house.
Yes, I wondered what that was.
They're normally really good, but they're so on it because it's before Easter weekend. I feel bad for stopping the flow. So what we're going to, one of the really exciting things I did yesterday, Claire, is I interviewed for the Recruiting Gym podcast, Claire Dale and Patricia Payton, who've recently written a book called The Physical Intelligence. So we've got our IQ, which is sort of mental capacity. We've got EQ, which is emotional intelligence, and then they sort of launched the physical intelligence. I think it's a great spin. And they were talking about the 4 pillars of strong physical intelligence, that ability to link the body with the mental wellness. The first pillar they talk about, Claire, is strength and how we build strength. They talk a lot about breathing. So in your experience of coaching people in well-being and sort of self-regeneration, what role does breathing play?
Probably one of the main roles, actually. I think breathing is one of the most powerful techniques we can use to overcome our stress and our anxiety. And there are so many different techniques for breathing. One of the simplest is called the square, where we actually go in for a number, hold for the same number, out for the number, and wait for the same number. So it might be in for 5, hold for 5.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
Okay, so we're going to do count of 5, everybody.
Count of 5. Okay, so let's go. And we're breathing in first, yeah?
Breathing in first. So everyone go. 1, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you do that a number of times. And Alex, you did it perfectly in that what we do is we want to breathe in through the nose, hold, and out through the mouth.
Oh, I didn't do the nose. And I lifted my shoulders. I didn't breathe through my gut.
Right. You've got to breathe through your gut. Get the technique right. Very powerful in calming down our nerves, especially when we are feeling overly stressed and into that dangerous state of distress.
Yeah, and they were talking about the fact that even if you do just focused breathing at a rhythmic level, whether it be in for 3, out for 3, in for 5, out for 5, but you do that for 5 to 10 minutes twice a day, beginning and the end of the day, has a transformative effect on some of the sort of chemicals going on in the brain.
Definitely.
As well. So that was good. I got a lesson then as well.
Good.
So that was fantastic. They also talked about trying to make sure you breathe from the diaphragm as opposed to sort of from your shoulders. So what I understand is that if we breathe from the top of our lungs, our shoulders move up.
Yep.
But if we breathe from our diaphragm, which is where most of our lungs are, our stomachs come out. So it's a bit like when you look at a dog lying down and you see their tummy move up and down. They're breathing from the diaphragm rather than short, shallow breaths, and we can sometimes get into the trap of, especially when we're sitting down, breathing from the top of our lungs, and we sort of collect carbon dioxide in our brain. So they were also saying that just general physical strength is also good as well. So doing things like Pilates and yoga is. I didn't really connect the mental benefit of that regenerative sort of strength-based exercise.
Absolutely massive. It's so important. Every morning throughout COVID, I've always been somebody who does a class called Body Balance with Les Mills. And Body Balance is a mixture of Pilates, yoga, and Tai Chi. And I've subscribed to Les Mills. There's 60 days for free. I've subscribed to them, and I've been doing it every single day. And my strength in mind, as well as my flexibility, has really improved, and it is really benefiting me on my mental health.
And that's I really need to get my head around exercise. I sort of feel every day I go to bed feeling guilty. I haven't done anything. I know it does me good. I procrastinate and I procrastinate and I procrastinate. And it's probably the one area where that it's almost become a conscious, it's sort of almost like a self-limiting belief of making myself feel negative.
So my suggestion with that, Alex, is that what we need to do is try to build in a routine into our day. So what I'm doing is every morning I'm getting ready at 6:30. So I start my class at 7 and it lasts about 45 minutes to 55 minutes. So I have that in my diary every day. It's before the children get up, and I don't go to bed thinking I haven't done anything today. So why don't I make a suggestion to you? Work out what time of day is the best for you and build it into your diary.
You know what, Claire? I'm going to look you in the eye. Virtually, and I'm going to do something every day for the next 4 days. I do get up at 6 o'clock. Even though my kids are up, I do bugger all for an hour and a half. So I need to...
Well, you could even do the Joe Wicks replays with the kids then. The replays are great. With the kids.
That's good. So the next sort of pillar they talk about is flexibility, and that's not just physical flexibility, but it's flexibility of mind, to expect the unexpected as opposed to be too fixed. And I think one of the challenges I've had over the last few weeks is just you want to hang on to what you want your business to be. And actually life's become a lot easier for me once I've was it bent like a reed? Like I've bent with the wind or the storm, which is what it feels.
Which is what we mentioned. Well, I want to add to that because I think this is a very, very big life lesson for a lot of us. And this is where my workshop on dealing with change positively comes into play, because so many of us are resistant to change. We're not agile to change. So if we can be more agile to change, that's the flexibility. And this is what we've had to be the last 3-4 weeks. We have had to be agile to change. But all of our emotions can resist that. So if we can be more flexible, less resistant, more agile, it's so much more powerful for our mental health, definitely.
Yeah. And one of the best metaphors I've known for stress is that stress is the tension between where you are and where you want to be. Yeah. And once you the easiest way to reduce stress is to change the expectations of what you want. Yeah. And a challenge I have is I'm always on or off, and finding a midpoint is always difficult. But I guess it's defining the new on as opposed to it's not as much as it was. So
it is definitely good.
Fantastic. And so they also talked about endurance. Yeah. And I guess if there's one characteristic we're all going to need over the next 18 months, we are at the end of week 3 and we're celebrating week 3. But it's like we've done the first quarter mile of the London Marathon,
How long's it going to be? How long's a piece of string? That good old saying. We don't know. And it was quite funny. In one of the workshops yesterday, one of the ladies said, I can't wait to get back to norm by about mid-April or to the end of April. And I sort of said, pardon? We may not be back to norm. What is going to be the new norm until September? And she was mortified when I said that.
Until basically 90% of people have had it, and there is herd immunity. And whilst everyone abused the government for their strategy for herd immunity, and there's some sort of credibility in that, ultimately it's about how many people can you, it's going to be virtually impossible to eradicate. So how quickly, how can you manage the curve, as it were, until enough people have had it where actually it becomes a rare thing to catch, because not many people can carry the virus. That's why not many people get the flu year to year, is because most of us are immune in some way, shape or form.
Unless research really, really speeds up and we end up getting some sort of vaccination that's going to help us, which would be fantastic if that worked before 90% of the population got it, because we don't know how severe it's going to be for a lot of people. So I believe endurance is one of the biggest things, and we need to be looking at the long term and not thinking this is going to actually all happen overnight. So our endurance, our resilience, our actual self strength is so important for our mental health here. And we're all going to have our peaks and troughs. You know, I had a bit of a downer on Tuesday night. I watched a bit too much of the news and got quite emotional and felt quite down about it. So I had to pick myself up on Wednesday and keep going, because when we have our downers, let's get our mental health right again.
Yeah, and it's recognizing that it will change daily. And what's when you have one of those downers, Claire, what's your strategy to sort of reset? We all have that experience, and that's got to become a learned skill. I think
it's a very, very difficult learned skill, because when we have those downers, it's our emotions. So what I ended up doing was, it's all about our mindset. So waking up, I do a gratitude diary every night, Alex, even if I've had a really bad day, and the gratitude diary is writing down what's gone well in the day. So on Tuesday, I found it a little bit more difficult to think of what went well, but it's finding those good things, because we want to get our brain into the positive brain, not going to bed in the negative brain. So I do it every night before I go to sleep.
The gratitude diary is difficult. When I've done that in the past, when I haven't had a good day, I can feel part of my brain fighting, needing to that. Like, you've really got to work it. The negative part. No, I just want to accept I had a bad day. You've really got to look to sort of find that and not become cynical with it.
And unfortunately, our brains naturally go into negative mode. So with a gratitude diary, it's fighting against that and going into positive mode. So that really helped me. And then the next morning, I got up and I did my body to balance. I focused. I did some meditation. I'm going to start doing the breathing for 10 minutes in the morning and the night. I love that. I love that idea. And I had my workshops. So I went, I'm going to do this and it's going to be great. And that changed my mindset. Then in the afternoon, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do any work. I'm going to spend the time with the kids. It's sunny. Let's have a bit of fun. So we had fun in the garden, and that switched my mindset. So one of the things I mean, I don't want to discourage people from watching the news, but I'm finding that I'm actually quite down after I've watched the news. I felt quite low, watching all of these fantastic people from the NHS working so hard, and all of these really poorly people in hospitals. And so I've realized that's a trigger for me. So I'm going to watching what are our triggers, what makes us feel down, and I'm realizing that I can't watch the news for as long as I did on Tuesday night, because it just made me feel so low.
I mean, normally I'm a news junkie. The first thing I do is flip on my phone. I'm not doing that anymore. So let's spend the last couple of minutes thinking about exciting things that we're doing. So I've asked everybody in the gym. So Tracy is going to be gardening, planting her veggies. That's endurance thinking food security. Jodie's just chilling out in the garden, painting the fence. And putting on the barbecue. Let's go high five for barbecues.
Yay, we love them. I'm an Aussie, so I definitely love my barbie.
You took a shrimp on the barbie. And then Sarah is gardening, and she's playing ping pong online. So she's got a ping pong table online, so she's basically going to be playing ping pong with her husband. We'll look to see who's winning next week.
So Sarah, we're playing ping pong on our outdoor tables. We've got a couple of ping pong bats, and we haven't got a ping pong table, so we're actually doing them on the outdoor tables. So it's a great what you can adjust, really.
Or you can make games on everyone. I'm going to be I'm plumbing in my new garage, because my plumber's still in isolation, so we're not finishing our utility room, and they need to knock through a doorway, so I've got to basically plumb that. But I can't complain about DIY. I love a DIY project. So
really,
although every time the builder comes back and I'm like, look at what I've done. And then he goes, yeah, but what about this? And I'm like, oh, I haven't saved you any time at all, have I? So which is good. Julian's talked about practicing his golf short game.
Good.
Chipping, that's good. I should probably get the golf clubs out, which is good. Abby's got a birthday to celebrate. That'll be fantastic. Gareth is emptying the shed and tidying the garden. That is very
love it. It is.
I've because they've stopped them taking the green waste out. I've actually created myself a little fire pit now, so I'm burning.
Yeah, we've got a big wood pile now. It's so exciting. My son's loving chopping all the wood, so we're going to have a fire over the weekend. We're going to have a bit of a fire pit and maybe get.
Got a shed work. I love a bit of shed work. Well done, Gareth.
Love it too.
Well done. And so I think it's going to be if the weather stays terrific, you know what? We're all healthy. We're alive.
It's sunny.
And we made it to Easter. We didn't think we'd make it to Easter.
Yeah.
But just like everyone, just get your head down for a few days. Come back after Easter. Fight a good fight. Not much will have changed, truth be told. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Yep. Great.
And, if anyone's got anything that they want to share or an idea they want to chat about, give me a shout. I'm more than happy to have you on as a guest in a morning startup. You only want to listen to so much of me. So thank you very much, Claire. You have a fantastic weekend with your family.
You too. I can't wait.
No worries. And I will see everybody soon. Take care now.
See you all. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Alex. Bye.